Hello friends, my name is Karina and welcome back to Bookish Babbles. For today's video, we're going to be talking about all the books that I read in the month of March. I read 10 books in total. Some were audiobook, but most of them I read both physically and with the audiobook. The first book that I finished in March was Belladonna. I gave this book 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I just was expecting a different story from this. I really enjoyed the character of Signafaro. I liked the mystery, but like I said, I think I was just expecting a different book because I saw this all over TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. This book was everywhere and it was being sold as a fantasy romance. And while there is romance in this fantasy book, it's more about the story of Signafaro and the fact that she can't die. Overall, I really did enjoy this. The next book I finished was Sorry Bro. I really enjoyed the story. It's about a woman who gets proposed to by her boyfriend in the most horrible way. And that kind of gets her to realize that maybe this isn't the life that she wants to be living right now. Maybe it is time for her to connect with her culture and go back to living with her family and truly figure out who she is, because she is also a bisexual woman who has not had the chance to explore that part of herself yet. So she reaches out to her mother saying, hey, I want to meet other people, because she realized that she did not want to marry that man. This book is rich with Armenian culture, and in the process of finding a husband who is also in her culture, she falls in love with this woman and things ensue from there. Again, it's all about culture, family, and how they deal with different sexuality. I gave this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I do have to say I saw some weird things about the author. If anyone knows more details, let me know, but I do remember seeing someone when I was reviewing it on Goodreads saying that the author was upset about the review that they left. So if anyone knows anything about that, let me know, because when I first read it, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be one of my favorite books of all time. But if that is true, I will probably find a new one. Then after that, I listened to the fine print because it was available on my Hoopla, and I really enjoyed this book. I believe I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really fun, and it was just a very cute rom-com. Workplace rival. These 3 brothers are left a fortune by their grandfather, who owns Dreamland, which is basically Disneyland, and they have to do certain things in order to get their inheritance. And I believe for the first book, he has to gain the acceptance of his the board of members, whatever. He has to make them happy, but obviously he ends up falling in love with this crazy girl. She is very rambunctious, but I really enjoyed that. Then I read King of Battle and Blood, and I absolutely loved this book. I even painted the edges. That's how much I loved it. 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. This book for me, it was, listen, was it good objectively? Maybe not, but I truly enjoyed this story. This is basically about Isolde, who is a princess in another kingdom, and the world is being taken over by the Vampire King. And the Vampire King basically comes to her door and tells her father, let me marry your daughter, and then I won't kill your people. And at first the dad is like, no, I'm not going to let you take my daughter, but eventually Isolde decides that it's best for her people if she does go with the Vampire King. It's basically enemies to lovers, perfectly done. Absolutely loved this book. 10 out of 10. I loved it. Then obviously I read Queen of Myth and Monsters, which is the sequel to King of Battle and Blood. Again, I loved this story so much. The second book is more focused on Isolde as a person rather than her and Adrian's relationship. We follow the events of King of Battle and Blood, and shit is going down. So she's kind of having to find herself and come to terms with the person that she is right now. A lot of mysteries start to unravel. I cried in this book. I wasn't expecting to cry as much as I did. I think the last 50 pages I was crying. But if you haven't, go check out my 24-hour readathon, because that's where I finished it, and I loved it. Then I read Legendborn by Tracy Dion, and I absolutely love this book. 10 out of 10. amazing. I read this for Kay's book club. I'll link her socials down below. She has a YouTube channel, but I mainly know her from TikTok. And she shared on her TikTok that she was going to be reading this for last month, not March, the month before. And I didn't get to finish it because I'm not going to lie, the first 200 pages is a lot of world building. We're getting to know the world. It's an urban fantasy, and it's also King Arthur retelling. So there's a lot of information that you have to learn about the world before you get to the actual plot. And that kind of threw me off for a second, but once you get past that, it is so good. The story, I wasn't even expecting the plot twist, and I already know, like, not every book, but most books that I read, I can call the plot twist. And it's like, yeah, I knew it was coming. But for this one, I really didn't. It was very well written. I really enjoy the romance in the book. Again, I also read this for the 24-hour readathon. This is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I listened to the audiobook. It was so fun. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I was like, maybe I don't like this book, but then I started getting into it and I was like, okay, I think I really do enjoy this story. Like, it got good. I do have to say, a lot of people love Daisy, and I don't hate her, but I'm not a Daisy Jones stan. But the ending was so super cute, so I don't know. I kind of want a second one. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know if I said that. Then I read Defy the Night. This is actually sent to me by Amanda from A Court of Blonde Chaos over on TikTok. Really enjoyed this book. It was really cute. It's a YA fantasy book. It's almost like a Robin Hood retelling. This girl named Tessa, she lives in a kingdom where it is ravaged by this sickness. I'm pretty sure this was heavily inspired by COVID, but this kingdom is ravaged by the sickness, and they have to drink this like flower-like medicine in order to feel better. And there's only a certain amount that the people can get. So she goes on with this, again, Robin Hood-like character named Wes, who steals from the kingdom and brings flowers to the people. They distribute it to those who can't afford to buy it. I saw the plot twist coming, but again, it was just very fun and it felt very true, like YA fantasy. I enjoyed it overall, and I would recommend it to some people. I gave it a 3.5 stars. It was so close to being a 4 stars, but I felt like some things were just missing. But the ending was also really good, and it made me want to read the second one, even though you could potentially read this as a standalone if you wanted to, but it is a series. It's a 3-book series, I'm pretty sure. Then for the trans rights readathon, I read Iron Widow by Jiang Jie Zhao. I'm pretty sure I said that right. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. But I absolutely loved this book. It's almost a mashup of like Neon Genesis, Power Rangers, Pokemon had a baby, but also The Handmaid's Tale. It's super wonderful. It's a very feminist book talking about how the people in this society view women as almost objects to be used for their personal gain. Basically, the story follows our main character whose sister went off to become a pilot for the Chrysalis, and these Chrysalis fight other like almost demons, I would call them, that invade Earth and are killing the human population. And there's also a lot of gods, and there's a polyamorous relationship. I want to explain the plot of this book, but I also don't want to spoil it because I went into this completely blind. The only thing I knew was that it had mechas and a polyamorous relationship. That is it. And then I read this book and I absolutely loved it. But again, very feminist. Like, as you can see, there were so many parts of this that I loved. I've made so many TikToks about it. And I recommend it literally to anyone. It's YA, super cute, and a super quick and easy read in my opinion. I gave Iron Widow a 5 out of 5 stars, if that was not clear. Finally, I read Mooncakes, which is a graphic novel about a witch and a werewolf, kind of like going on a little magic quest in their neighborhood. It's super cute. There's a lot of representation, non-binary, disability, sapphic. It was beautiful. It's super cute and a super quick read. I definitely recommend that you pick it up. Yeah, those were all the books that I read for the month of March. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like and comment down below. Also follow me on all my social medias. I am Bookish Babbles on everything, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.